Alright, this is my video blog for yesterday because I've got to do two today because my internet was down. I still can't figure out what's wrong with it, but I have myself hardwired into it. I got to get my wireless fixed today. If I don't get it fixed today, I'm going to have a conniption. Anyways, something hilarious happened to me yesterday. I woke up at 3 in the morning and I didn't get to bed until midnight. That's not the hilarious part. I was playing poker on Xbox in the wee hours of the morning, and I was talking to an Italian guy who I ended up in the final two with at my table, and it was pretty hilarious. First of all, the guy was completely insane, which helped out with the hilarity. Second of all, the guy, we were talking about America versus Italy and just comparing and what's different in our countries. And I asked him if he had ever been to America, and he said yes, he'd been to Texas. I believe he was in Houston. And he said the three things he learned about Texas are that they have good tacos, they have hot women, and they believe in the death penalty, which I found amazingly hilarious. That out of his entire visit to America and Texas in particular, the three things that he pulled from Texas culturally were the women, the food, and the fact that they kill everybody that walks into their prison system. I just about crap my pants when he said that, just because I guess it's kind of true. But the fact that that's what foreigners are taking away from their Texas experience makes it that much more funny. Anyways, off of that, on to the next thing. Yesterday, because I woke up at 3 o'clock, in the morning and didn't. I usually don't get more than 5 hours of sleep a night, usually, and then about every 2 weeks I'll take one day and I will literally sleep the entire day. But yesterday I woke up and I needed to get my computer fixed because it's been messed up massively. So I went down to the computer store that my buddy owns, and at 10 o'clock when he opened the store to get him to fix my computer, and I literally was there from 10 o'clock to about 5 or 5:30, wasting my time, and I had a laundry list of things that I needed to get done yesterday. Um, so that really put a damper on that situation. I got three things done yesterday. I didn't get any of my Canadian paperwork filled out, which I got to work on today. I got to make a phone call to my former employer so I can get them to send me proof of work experience. That's the boring stuff. Anyways, I did manage to call this company that I'm working with to find me a job for the next few months so I can pay some bills and get some things squared away, um, for my before I head off to the Great White North. Um, so that was my day yesterday. Uh, I couldn't get. I ended up not being able to get in contact with the lady at the employment agency that I needed to get in contact with. That's supposed to get me a job. There we go. And whatever. Hopefully she contacts me back today, because I need some source of income before for the next 3-4 months. I don't care what it is. I'll get minimum wage. I'll take what I can get just because I'm out of here soon anyways. Um, let's see. And then I went and I sold plasma yesterday. That's something that I do twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. They hook me up to a machine. They run my blood through some sort of filter. They take out my plasma and then give me 25 bucks twice a week. 50 bucks a week, whatever. Gives me some money to spend when I go out for the fights. Um, and I need to sign up for a defensive driving course and take that and pay all my fines to the government because in November of 2009 I got pulled over, and because, get this, I pulled up to a stoplight on a main road. There was nobody around. I was semi intoxicated. And I was like, well, there's nobody around. I may as well just go. And I went, and there was a cop there. So I immediately swung a left into a neighborhood. The cop follows me into the neighborhood. I turn my lights off on the truck that I'm driving, and I turn down a side street, hoping that he won't find me and that I can get lost in the neighborhood and he won't be able to. And eventually I'll pull into someone's driveway and then just act like, hey, nobody's here. So I pull left. Mind you, this is over a year ago. And I take my first right down a side street, thinking that I'm going to get lost and I'm going to be able to elude this cop. The problem is that the side street that I pulled down was a dead end. So I ended up, I blacked out my lights, and then I ended up pulling around. The cop pulled down the road, and I'm like, all right, I'm screwed. He didn't even flip on the lights. I pulled over, and they did a field sobriety test on me, and then the cop said, I'm going to be nice to you. I'm not going to give you a DUI, but I am going to give you a whole litany of tickets. So I got about $800 worth of tickets, and I'm still dealing with the after effects of that, because after that I ended up getting my license suspended, and then there's just a whole domino effect that happened, and over a year later I'm still dealing with the end effects of that, and now I need to take a defensive driving course. If I don't clear up all this stuff on my license, I can't leave America. So that's that. Anyways, I did not get to work out yesterday, and I feel terrible for it, but I was exhausted by the time I got home because I had been up since 3 in the morning, and after I got done selling my plasma, getting home, it was around 8 o'clock. I had been up for 15 hours or whatever, you do the math, and I went and I laid down on the couch and I watched about 2 hours of TV or whatever, and then I crashed out and I woke up at 7 this morning. I was going to do some reviews of movies and stuff that I've watched, but I'm going to skip that and put that off until tonight's blog after the end of today. In MMA news, we got Brian Stan on MMA Live said that he wants his next fight to either be against Damian Maia, Vanderlei Silva, and Michael Bisping. So I'm going to break these 3 options down for you and tell you what I think is the best. I don't care what you think. Vanderlei Silva, I think Brian Stan pretty handily wins that fight, and I'm sad to say it because I love Vanderlei as much as the next guy. He's a legend in mixed martial arts, and I will never disrespect him, but I don't think that he can pull off that win. It would still be a competitive fight, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win, but I think Brian Stan pretty much wins that. Against Damian Maia, that's another fight that would be good for him, but Damian Maia is not a striker, and he asked for a striker next, although Damian Maia is a high-level middleweight fighter. So that would be interesting, but that's not the fight that I want to see him in. I don't think that would be a super entertaining fight on one hand, and I honestly don't. If he can resist Maia's grappling, I don't see Maia winning that fight. The fight that I think he has the greatest chance of losing, and the fight that I want to see him in, not because I want to see him lose, but because I like to see my favorite fighters test themselves. For the same reason I want to see Rich Franklin fight Lyoto Machida again before he retires, and try to get that loss off his record, even though that would be a hard-fought battle and he would probably lose. I like to see my favorite fighters fight the toughest competition, and Rich Franklin is my favorite fighter. Anyways, I think Michael Bisping is going to be the biggest challenge for Brian Stan in this situation, because they're both going to stand and bang without excuse. I think that based on what Brian Stan says, Brian Stan does going into the cage. he doesn't pull these switches and try to wrestle guys that he says he's going to stand up with, whatever. I think they'd stand and bang, and I think Michael Bisping has the better stand up, and I think Michael Bisping will pull off that win, but I'd be curious to see how that goes, and that would definitely be the most competitive for me, and I think that would offer the biggest step up for Brian Stann. In other news, Frank Mir just signed to fight Big Country Roy Nelson at UFC 130. I think that's an interesting fight. I've got Leonard Garcia winning by split decision. That's that. I'll talk to you tonight.